Welcome to the Generational Wealth Podcast. Listen, guys, with everything going on right now, we might be headed towards a recession. In this video, I'm going to show you what a recession is, how it will affect you, and how you can build generational wealth during a recession. So please make sure that you smash that like button because recessions are the best times to create wealth. Now, let me give a shout out to everybody that is on. If you're on, please feel free to leave me your name and your comment below so I can show you some love. I want to show a lot of love to everybody that's been getting on my free webinar about the 3 keys to financial freedom. Guys, the reason why I had this masterclass in place is to show you how to replace a fixed income. I've done shows about inflation, the recession. It's time for you to stop trading time for money. So if you want to know how to create multiple streams of income so that you can finally create generational wealth for your family, I want you guys to check out this webinar. It's in the comments below. All you got to do is click the link and you will be good to go in order to join. Today, we're talking about a recession is coming, how to prepare. And since we're always talking about making sure that you're prepared financially, for all of you guys that decide to start your own business, I give you free promo on my channel. That's right. If you're looking to be an entrepreneur and you've decided that you're trying to get out of the rat race, I will allow you to promote your products and services on my channel for free. All I need you to do is send me the details. So feel free to leave me a comment below. Tell me about your business, and I would love to be able to give you a plug. Now, as always, guys, as always, y'all know I could not do a show without thanking my sponsors. Thank you to all of you who take the time to donate to this platform to keep the show going. Guys, doing this show ain't easy. I know it might just look like Uzziah just gets on camera and he just starts talking just to talk. Anybody can do that. But I assure you, this takes work. I'm constantly making upgrades to give you guys a better podcast. So I want to take a moment to thank our live sponsors. I want to give a big shout out to my brother Yasha Allah. I want to give a big shout out to my sister LA for Life. Y'all deserve a round of applause. Thank you to all of you who play your part in your donations. Now, you may be wondering, who is a sponsor and how do I donate? If you want to know who the sponsors are, just watch. When you start to see certain donations pop up on the screen, you can see who's sponsoring. And as always, whoever makes the top donation for this podcast will be the official sponsor of the show. So if you guys are interested in becoming a sponsor by supporting this channel financially, all you got to do is tap the dollar icon directly below the live chat box. When you see that dollar icon, all you got to do is press it, and whatever amount that you're willing to give will be greatly appreciated. Now, let's talk about this. What is a recession? I'm going to make this simple and plain. Recessions are whenever the GDP drops for 6 consecutive months. This is negative growth in the marketplace. And without going all deep and sounding like an economist, I'm putting it in layman's terms to show you that a recession is whenever the economy is going down over an extended period of time. Now, the reason why this matters is because recessions can harm you. Stocks go down during recessions. Housing prices goes down during recessions. Businesses go under during recessions, and people lose their jobs. So as we start this podcast for the evening, I want to show you guys a list of the previous recessions that have happened in the United States so that you can put the one to come into perspective. Now, some of y'all might be saying, aren't we in a recession right now? make sure that you tune in. We're going to talk more about that. I want you guys to know a recession is coming and how to prepare you and your household. If you're not watching this, you could be missing out. Don't say I didn't do my part to try to look out for you and your family. Now, this is a list of a lot of recessions that happen. As you can see, it's starting off by talking about the Great Depression that took place from August 1929 all the way to 1933. Even though we weren't around during this time, people still talk about it to this day because there was such a devastating impact to the economy. So there's recessions that happens ever so often. And one of the things that I want you guys to notice is in recent times, there was an early 2000 recession. A lot of you guys are familiar with the whole dot-com bubble. After that, there was the Great Recession from December 2007 to 2009. And for a very short period of time, there was a recession once the pandemic happened. Once 19 happened, y'all know what I'm talking about. That is when the economy turned upside down. What I'm going to show you guys in today's podcast is how we are due for the next big recession coming our way, and what things that you can do to prepare for it. All right. So once again, for those of y'all that are on, feel free to leave me a comment. Let me know that you're here. Give me your thoughts. Do you think we are heading into a recession? Now, I want to tell you guys what prompted me to do this podcast. I want to show you guys what's happening in the world today, which is why this is a very important topic. Check this out. It says the outlook for the U.S. economy has darkened. This is an article that was written a few days ago. It says the outlook for the U.S. economy has darkened. Just as it seemed as though the global economy and its tangled supply chains could be getting back to normal, three factors might supercharge inflation and or raise the risk of recession. The first of the three developed in just the past few days. A new wave in China. Y'all know, can't say the word, YouTube be tripping. There's a new wave of the pandemic that's hitting in China right now that has already led to major lockdowns and will further stress the world's struggling supply chains. If you haven't heard much about this yet, you probably will soon. This is the reason why this podcast matters, because I try to educate you guys about this before it becomes national news. I want to make sure that you do all that you can to prepare yourself and your families. What this is saying is, even though we've been seeing a lot of shortages of goods and supplies, chances are it could get worse, because in some of the main places where exports happen, their businesses are being shut down because pandemics are back up. It says daily cases in China have reached numbers not publicly reported since 2020. Thanks to low jab rates for the elderly in China, plus the relative ineffectiveness of Chinese-made jabs, the Chinese government has responded to outbreaks with an iron fist. Under its so-called zero pandemic policy, several areas have been locked down in recent days, with non-essential workers mostly barred from leaving their homes in the major manufacturing hubs of Shenzhen, a city of 17.5 million people, and Changchun, 9 million. So I want you to know this is what's happening overseas. And a lot of times we only think about what's happening on our local block and within our house. but everything that's happening in Russia and all over the world has a ripple effect with us. It says transportation to Shanghai, the country's largest city of 25 million, has been severely restricted, raising fears of a possible lockdown there too. Now, I'm not going to go over the entire article. Y'all know that's not my style. I'm just wanting y'all to know what's going on, how that affects us, and how we can get out in front of it. There are companies that are starting to shut down, and it's only going to slow things up that much more for us to be able to get access to resources here in the States. It says here, all of this will be bad for already elevated inflation in both the United States and the rest of the world. The only possible economic upside is that factory shutdowns will likely reduce global demand for oil. A lot of y'all know everything that's happening with this oil crisis. You've been seeing gas prices go up at an astronomical level. The things that you're seeing right now happening with Russia and the sanctions that the US is giving them, this all plays into things. That's the reason why this person is saying this in the article. It says, this might be helpful in light of shock number 2, the disruption in commodity markets, including oil, resulting from Russia's unprovoked invasion of Ukraine. So, guys, what the writer is saying in this article is that there are 3 key things that can create the next recession: the fear of continued lockdowns, which are already happening, international turmoil with Russia, and we're also going to go into number 3. This right here is talking about how there's been a disruption in commodity markets, including oil, resulting from Russia's unprovoked invasion of Ukraine. For those of y'all that want to build wealth, I know a lot of times y'all will look at these type of podcasts and you'll say, wow, you know, I came here to learn about how to manage my personal finances. What does politics and international relations has to do with this? It has everything to do with this, because if you don't understand the global economy, how will you ever capitalize off of it? Bill Gates understands the global economy. Warren Buffett, Jeff Bezos, all of these guys built wealth by understanding the world. So if you want to create generational wealth and raise your income, it is so important that you not only have a very viable skill that is lucrative, but that you also understand where the world economy is going. If you don't understand both of those things, it's always going to put a cap on your income. Now, it says this issue has obviously generated more coverage. Oil and natural gas prices have climbed in recent weeks. And I want to say something to y'all right now. I saw something interesting in the news. Biden was saying that because gas prices are going up so high, automobiles with regular gas are no longer going to be sustainable over time.
Nope.
Biden said that these electric cars are the wave of the future. Now, why am I pointing this out right here, y'all? I'm pointing this out because I told y'all that in one of my last podcasts. I told y'all that the United States could be allowing the gas prices to go up the way that it is to start to incentivize people to go electric. I've been telling y'all, before we ever saw these gas prices where it is right now, this was already a part of the global agenda. It was already a part of the United States plan to incentivize people that were getting into renewable and solar energy. Now you're just watching the plan unfold. Oil and natural gas prices have climbed in recent weeks as governments and individual corporations have placed new restrictions on transactions with Russia. Oil prices have fallen back a little in the past few days, but remain high. So now it's going to talk about different commodities. Commodities talking about things like oil, energy, wheat exports. All of these commodities are shaping the prices that we pay within the economy. The prices that we pay influences the marketplace. It says the risk of widespread hunger and economic hardship. I'm skipping down a little bit. The risk of widespread hunger and economic hardship is especially high in lower income countries that are most reliant on Europe's breadbasket. This is talking about the importance of wheat. It said in the wake of Russia's invasion, wheat prices have skyrocketed, threatening to boost food inflation more broadly. How does this affect us? We see higher prices at the grocery store. I've been telling y'all, there's going to be so many people who are going to have their own personal struggles because it's going to be that much harder just to afford regular life. Whatever lifestyle you have been having up to this point is going to become that much more challenging to maintain because the prices of transportation and food are going up. And you need to make sure that you have a wage that goes up along with it. If you're not growing your income and creating generational wealth, chances are your lifestyle is going to have to scale back. That's why we're talking about a recession. Then it says, finally, there's the third risk: tightening financial conditions thanks to the Federal Reserve. The Fed is widely expected to raise interest rates at its meeting this week. Given that U.S. inflation is already at a 40-year high, this is hardly surprising. In a different era, few would have predicted that interest rates could be at zero when inflation hit nearly 8%, as happened in February. Notice this. Interest rates could be at zero when inflation hit nearly 8%, as happened in February. Prices keep going up. So, guys, I need y'all to get a pulse on what's happening. Everything is getting more expensive around the world. And if we don't understand what's happening, we won't know how to adjust ourselves accordingly. We won't know what to do when the market changes. The Federal Reserve is about to step in, and they're about to shift the economy because they're trying to cut down inflation. They're going to stop spending so that way the prices don't keep skyrocketing through the roof. Let me take a quick second and let me look at these comments. Let me give a big shout out to my brother from another mother, Lyra Texan the Israelite. Thank you so much, King. The brother Lyra Texan the Israelite gave a $10 super chat. He said, peace and blessings from Roy in Austin, Texas, man. Shout out to my Austin family. Listen, for those of y'all are on, please make sure that you smash this like button. Today's topic is how a recession is coming, and I'm trying to show you how to get prepared for it. See, the reason I'm doing this podcast is because there are so many people who, when a recession happens, feel like their life is over. They feel like, oh my God, jobs are going to get cut. My pay is going to get cut. I don't know what to do. But in every recession, there's a select few who know how to properly invest in the marketplace. They understand that while the majority of the people are living in fear, they, as wise investors, can dominate the economy. They understand the best time to make moves in the market is when there's blood in the streets. And that's what I'm trying to show you guys in this show. I'm trying to show you guys how to think like the 1%. And as somebody who owns over $1 million worth of real estate, I'm trying to give you guys some of the secrets on how myself and others process events like this, so that way you don't become a victim, but rather a victor. So once again, thank you, my brother Roy. Really appreciate that $10 sponsorship. For all of y'all that are getting value from this podcast, please do me a favor and tap that dollar icon directly below. Whoever makes the highest donation for this show will be the official sponsor of tonight's event. And as always, for those of you who like donating either through Cash App or PayPal, you can donate through there also. The links are in the description below. You can still donate even if you're watching this after the live broadcast is over. Now, shout out to everybody that's on. Ian Jackson said, do you believe the housing bubble is getting ready to finally pop? I don't know if that's going to happen right this second, Ian, because prices are still going up and people are still buying, but we're going to see something happen in the market if there is a recession. Now, if a recession takes place, usually housing prices go down. The housing prices go down, and that's because a lot of people don't have the money to buy homes. They're losing jobs and they're spending less money. And a lot of people are not being able to afford their home are now deciding to sell. Man, it feels so good to be back online to get all of y'all's love and support. Shout out to my brother Jordan Brilliant. Shout out to Ariel that's on. And of course, I cannot forget my brother, the one, the only, the sponsor of all sponsors, my brother Yasha Allah. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you so much, my brother Yasha Allah. Shout out to you. Really appreciate you, man. The brother Yasha Allah said, Shalom, big bro, salute. Peace and blessings back to you as well, my brother. I miss you, and I pray all is well with you and yours. Greatly appreciate that $25 sponsorship. Y'all, let's keep the love and the support going. Tonight, we're talking about how a recession is coming and how you can prepare. And going back to what Ian Jackson asked, we're going to notice that there is going to be more turbulence in the market. We don't know when it's coming, but we know that it's coming. So now let me jump back to the article, okay? It talks about in this article there being three major things. There's going to be lockdowns, commodity disruptions, as well as everything that's going on with the Federal Reserve. The article talks about how these three things put together could be the very thing that can cause the next recession. I showed y'all a list of all the different recessions that came to the United States economy. And the last time that we had a recession, it was very short-lived. So we are due for another one that will last longer. During recessions, people lose their job, businesses go under, housing prices begin to lessen, amongst other things. Now, it says the Fed is widely expected to raise interest rates at its meeting this week. Given that U.S. inflation is already at a 40-year high, this is hardly surprising. In a different era, few would have predicted that interest rates could be at zero when inflation hit nearly 8%, as happened in February. With hindsight, even Fed officials would probably agree that they should have begun tightening months ago. Now, guys, this is the reason why it's so important that you watch these podcasts. The reason why is because they all follow up on each other. If you guys have been checking out some of the podcasts that I did in months prior to this, I was telling you guys that America knows that it was in front of a nightmare whenever the pandemic happened, and they put out all of those stimulus checks. When the stimulus checks came out, that caused so much spending that it caused inflation. The market and the economy was artificially pumped, but they had to give stimulus checks because there were so many people that were out of jobs, and they wanted to be able to keep people calm during times of crisis. But now there's a lot of pieces to pick up regarding that. Here we are now in what's trying to be a post-pandemic recovery. But as you can see, there's drama going on with Russia. Gas prices are going up. Inflation in the housing market is going sky high. And now the Federal Reserve is struggling because they don't know exactly when and how to intervene. The reason why they hadn't gotten involved earlier is because it says Fed officials had delayed taking these measures earlier because they feared doing so would derail the post-pandemic recovery. Okay. Either way, there was going to be damage. If the Fed stepped in earlier, it was going to affect the economy. If the Fed steps in later, it's going to affect the economy. So we're just doing what we got to do. Damned if you do, damned if you don't. Most previous Fed efforts to tamp down inflation by making it harder to borrow ended with the Fed plunging the U.S. economy into recession after all. Okay, so what this is saying is whenever the Federal Reserve has tried to get out in front of inflation in the past, they've had a track record of causing a recession in the marketplace. That's the reason why this is becoming a very slippery slope. Now, I want y'all to look at this, and then I'm about to end this article after I read this bottom part. It says central bankers have been hoping to avoid that outcome this time, particularly because there are still 2 million fewer jobs today than existed before the pandemic. I want you guys to understand this. The economy is so fragile that the Federal Reserve couldn't step in even when they wanted to, because they know when they've done this in the past, it's caused a recession, and they can't afford to do that now because there was already a loss of 2 million jobs before they stepped in the first place. Do y'all realize that the last time that there was a major recession, I'm talking about during the 2008 time frame, during that time frame, 2 million people lost their jobs. So when you factor in all of the pandemic lockdowns and how a lot of people lost their jobs between that and this great resignation, you take that 2 million plus the 2 million jobs that were lost from the last big recession, that's 4 million jobs gone. Think about how much that would affect the economy. Think about how much that would impact the average person. I mean, even right now, guys, I'm telling you, you try to order so many things and it's just not coming. Think about all the supply chain shortages. I'm telling you guys, listen, this moving in process into my new place has been a pain in the neck. You know why? Because every time I try to buy a piece of furniture, there's always a company that's telling me, nope, I can't buy a couch. I can't buy a dining table. I can't buy a bed. Every time I'm trying to buy different things, different companies are telling me it's back ordered for the next 4 weeks, the next 12 weeks. I'm dumping thousands of dollars into something that I won't see anytime soon. And so I want you guys to think about how much worse that will be if there are more lockdowns in key places, along with more jobs lost during a recession. Notice what it says right here. It's not obvious what path the Fed should or even could take to get inflation under control without tipping us into recession. Frankly, even without aggressive rate hikes, recession risks are piling up. There's never a good time for a downturn, but given all the other suffering and loss of life over the past few years, it's hard to imagine a worse time than the present. Guys, I'm going to tell you something. As much as I want you to be personally responsible for the outcome of your finances, you must pay attention to what is going on in the economy. All wealthy people that are good with money know that personal finance is about your personal decisions that you make. But on top of that, you have to have awareness of the market. I know this might sound like a contradiction. A lot of people will say, oh man, I'm broke because of the economy. It's because of the president. It's because of these jobs. I can't stand America. That's the reason why I'm taking the L. A lot of people put so much stock in a president thinking that that will make or break their opportunities. I need you to understand that regardless of the president or the condition of the economy, somebody is always winning. And the reason why somebody is always winning is because they're not putting all of their hope into the government. They're putting their focus on themselves. They're studying the market to see what opportunities are available, and they're making personal decisions to improve their personal finances. A lot of wealthy people got rich during the recession, and that's what I want to show you how to do in this podcast. Okay, shout out to my brother Wealth Engineering, man. My brother, my dude. Shout out to you, brother. Definitely looking forward to us linking up, man. Thank you so much for all of your patience, my brother. That link up, that collab has to happen, man. For those of y'all that have not checked out my brother Wealth Engineering's YouTube channel, please feel free to show him some love. Great brother all the way out in Canada, holding it down, educating the culture. Let's celebrate everybody who is out here trying to get people to level up. Now, if you haven't yet done so, make sure that y'all smash that like button. If you haven't yet done so, make sure that you donate. All you got to do is tap the dollar icon directly below. Okay. As y'all can see, when I get on these podcasts, I'm not just on here pulling stuff out of the side of my neck. I'm taking the time, doing the research, telling you guys where we're at, where we're going, and how you can get to the right place. So, how do we prepare for the recession to come? First, we got to think about those three big things. The three big things that the article talked about was more pandemic lockdowns, the threat of commodities due to international turmoil, as well as interest rates on the rise. What we have to understand about these supply chain issues is if we keep getting lockdowns, which will only make the supply chain problem worse, this is going to change the way that we purchase and plan resources moving forward. I just want you guys to prepare for that. This is the reason why, Yasha Allah, you notice, I've been telling them, make sure that you stock up on goods. See, a lot of y'all been feeling real comfy in America. A lot of y'all thinking, oh, if I don't have water, the grocery store got me on water. All I got to do is pull up, and there's a whole aisle of a water section. It's not going to be like that with more lockdowns.
Nope.
So what I'm saying to you is that if you are aware and you see this happening, don't just get one jug of water that you're going to run through today. Start to supply your house. Because if it ever gets to a point where grocery stores are locked down and nobody has access to get certain things, if you don't already have it, you're going to be out of luck. You're going to be out there. You're going to be caught out there, not thinking a day is going to come. Damn, I can't get access to water. I don't have toilet paper. I don't have basic good and essentials that I need to protect my house. Get this now, because we don't know what's going to happen in the future with pandemics, because everything is uncertain. We thought that they had a handle on everything going on with the Rona, but as you can see, more things are popping up by the minute. If we're going to be wise with our resources, we must understand if the supply chain issues keep up, this is going to change the way that we do business. And the reason why I'm talking about you stocking up when I'm talking about personal finances is because during a major crisis, the value of your money could mean nothing. Think about what I'm saying real quick. I know that we're talking about generational wealth. Wealth is relative. You know how they tell you your health is your wealth? Because if you don't have any health, what good does money profit you? You got to understand that wealth is far greater than a monetary figure. It's more than just a piece of paper that the government prints out. So if we go through some zombie apocalypse, nobody cares that you have paper money. If there are no access to grocery store while other people are starving, the primary resource and currency will be food, water, and other essentials. So you having these things piled up is a form of wealth within itself. Because if things truly pop off and there's a shortage of goods, even for a week, those of you who took the time to listen to this podcast and took this message seriously, you're going to feel more secure than the people who don't. Everybody out there that's still just going through the motion, blindly ignorant to what's happening, guess what? When that lockdown hits them and they don't have nothing, they're going to be in panic mode. Them and their families. That's not the place that you want to be in. This is how you prepare in advance. Now, let's talk about business. Because we're still not certain where things are going to go with this whole pandemic thing. Are we going to have lockdowns? Or are we not going to have lockdowns? Our business is going to be open. Our business is going to be closed. We know that when these pandemics ramp up, it's also going to make more lockdowns happen, which affects the market. It affects the market because investors get more nervous, and that will then plummet stocks. Businesses will take losses due to lockdowns and labor shortages. People are not trying to go into the office because they don't want to end up getting the pandemic from somebody else. And then when businesses get hit, employees are going to be affected also. All of this is going to change our landscape. And we got to think about how this could affect the future of the job market. Remember, there were 2 million jobs in America, more than what we had when the pandemic kicked off. We lost 2 million jobs from the pandemic, and there was 2 million jobs lost during the last Great Recession. So if we find ourselves in a circumstance where we're losing millions upon millions of jobs, that's only going to mean more trouble for more people. It's only going to mean more people losing their homes, losing their cars, defaulting on their student loan debt, and this could have bad effects in the marketplace, okay? And one of the biggest things that y'all got to realize, guys, how do we know that we're not in a recession now? When you study US history, you're going to find a lot of times the government will not officially declare a recession until months after it already happened. So don't wait for the government to tell you openly, hey guys, the economy is going down. We're in a recession. Get prepared. You've got to start doing this homework yourself, because by the time that the government tells it to you, it's too late. The government is not telling it to you, and that's for good reason. They're not going to say it because they don't want to put out any false information, nor they don't want to cause mass hysteria. So even if they know, because the government knew that there was going to be massive inflation when all these stimulus checks came out, they didn't put that out there because they're trying to keep people as calm as they can amidst the pandemic. So now we're going to talk about how you can create generational wealth during this time. I make these podcasts because I don't want you to live in fear. I want you to be secure in your knowledge while everybody else is scrambling. If you want to know how to create generational wealth during a recession, the first thing that you need to do is you need to figure out the types of people who build wealth during this time. There are specific parties of people that make money during recessions. The question is, are you going to be among those parties of people who know how to make money from the recession? Or are you going to be the person that's blind, not knowing what's happening, and then you find yourself at the bottom and broke at the end of this? This is especially important because within our culture, typically when recessions happen, we get hit the worst. It's hardest for us to recover amongst a lot of people because we don't understand how to move in the economy. Okay. So Joshua Harris says, that's right. Good point. Wealth is having supplies. I'm trying to tell him a lot of y'all still stuck on money is wealth. But some people are so poor, money is all they have. True wealth is when you have control over your health, over your relationships. You're putting yourself in an environment where you want to be. You have a great life. The people around you are giving you life. And this is the reason why we need to start talking about this more, because we need to understand how we can thrive. This is not just about how you can survive and make it. This is about how you can still stay on top during hard times. So y'all, please do me a favor, smash that like button, continue to donate. Let's keep this thing going. Shout out to my sis, Via Live Nav. She said, definitely need this warning because things are very unstable out here. Absolutely. And it's going to be too late to go and watch the show. Once stuff starts popping off, you need to have it right now and you need to be prepared. Queen 81 Wilson says, what's your thoughts about stocking up on doomsday food? I think that is very important because we've already witnessed catastrophes over the past few years that has shown us everything ain't all good. Look at how many people were scrambling to get toilet paper as early as 2 years ago. Think about how many people couldn't get it. Think about how many people were trying to go out and buy stuff at the grocery stores, and the entire row of goods was gone. I mean, All the writing is on the wall. If you don't see it, you're not looking. We're still living in a country that provides much opportunity and many goods. But the economy and the numbers are showing that things are slowing down. The federal government is about to impose an interest rate hike where they're going to force spending to stop. They're going to slow it down. And historically, when the Fed has done this, they have caused recessions. So don't say you didn't know. I think it's important to make sure that you have things in your household prepared. Food, water. In my household, we got emergency toilets. We have physical maps of our surrounding cities so that in the event that electronics was down and we had no access to internet, we would still know how to navigate this area. A lot of y'all, if something really popped off, you would have no sense of security at all. And it's important, guys, during unstable times to protect your house. A lot of y'all be watching all these other countries out here getting bombed, and because that's never happened to you, you don't think that it's ever coming. But guess what? You never know. And I think the pandemic should have been a lesson to all of us that you got to expect the unexpected. Okay. Queen 81 Wilson also asks, as a freight broker, do you think that category will take a hit? I'm going to let Yasha Allah tell you all better than me, because Yasha Allah, he's already in freight and trucking. And he always talks about how with these gas prices going up, the truckers are going to charge the suppliers more. There's a lot of things that's going on in the trucking industry right now. But again, I'm going to leave that to my brother Yasha Allah. I'm going to put the link below for y'all to cam up. Okay, I'm about to open up this panel. So make sure that y'all get on, cam up with me, and we can have more of a conversation. Okay, listen, y'all, make sure that y'all smash that like button. Today, we're talking about how a recession is coming, how to prepare. Make sure that you donate, show some love, give me your commentary, and let me know what you think. Now, like I was saying, during these times, you need to know who profits off of recessions. That way you're not the victim, but rather the victor. Okay. So when we talk about who benefits from a recession, I'm going to show you. It says a recession is a period of negative economic growth. It is a period of higher unemployment, falling wages, and higher government borrowing. It generally causes economic costs. But does anyone benefit from a recession? Some people who may do well in a period of a slowdown in economic growth. Firms offering cheap entertainment. Think about this. How much of a come up did Netflix have whenever the lockdowns kicked in? Oh, they came up. You know the reason why they came up? Because everybody was at home looking to be entertained. I am a shareholder in the stock NVIDIA. You want to know the reason why? Because NVIDIA is the main chip supplier for all of the online gaming needs that people have. During these lockdowns, there was more online traffic. There was more people gaming, and I made a strong return on my investment from that company. You got to be able to know, okay, during downtimes, who's more desired, right? So just think about it like this, guys. If somebody passes away, you're going to look to a funeral home. There are businesses that are established to handle situations in time of need. When you're hungry, you're going to go to a restaurant or a grocery store. So you got to ask yourself, what are the businesses that thrive for recessions. Firms offering cheap entertainment. It is said bookmakers and publicans do well in a recession because people like to drown their sorrows with small gambles and getting drunk. Now, y'all know me, law keeper. I keep God's laws, statutes, and commandments. I stay in God's word. This is by no means promoting drunkenness. This is just showing the type of businesses that take off. Okay. I don't mind a little drink, not to the point of drunkenness, though. But this is just showing a lot of times when hard times come about. This is when people are looking for more opportunities of escapism. So gaming is on the rise. Drinks are on the rise. This may just be an old wives' tale, though, and is contradicted by studies which show higher life expectancy in recession. Okay, this fluctuates. I'm going to tell you all more about this as we go through it. But it said in a 2020 recession, it is likely to see a rise in demand for online streaming and online entertainment. Some influencers actually became known and viral all because they were streaming during the lockdown. So while everybody was at home and having to consume and watch something, that's when their numbers went up. I'm telling you, the recession is not a bad time for everybody. It is only a bad time for the masses who don't know what to do. Who else benefits? Companies dealing with bankruptcies and loss of income. For example, pawnbrokers and firms selling payday loans. People short of cash turn to loan sharks. Now, I'm not telling you guys to get into all these different kinds of businesses because not all of these businesses are even moral. I'm just showing you the types of things that happen. It says firms selling inferior goods. Now, a prime example of this, Walmart. Walmart has been on the rise. Why? Because if inflation is going up, people are looking for rock bottom prices. They're going to go to find the suppliers that can help make things the most affordable. So some of you guys are out there and you're thinking about starting businesses. During the times of a recession, price is a big deal. Firms selling inferior goods, goods where demand rises when income falls, e.g., value goods, secondhand storms, etc. Some firms like supermarkets will not be adversely affected by the recession. Although people will cut back on luxuries, they will not cut back on food. This is why Walmart makes a killing. Also, greater efficiency in long term. Now, I'm not going to go through this whole thing again. Y'all know my stance on all these articles. But notice what it says right here. Falling asset prices can make it cheaper to buy a house. Good for first-time buyers. It can help reduce wealth inequality. Now, guys, this is the reason why it's so important to be prepared in advance. The reason why you need to prepare yourself in advance is because when the recession does come, will you have the money to take advantage of it? Or will you be out here struggling, hopeless like everybody else, not able to make the most of the opportunities? See, listen to this. During these recessions, like, for example, that housing crash that happened back in 2008, you had a lot of people during that housing crash that were selling their property, foreclosing on their property, but you also had people that were buying and investing. You had people during that time who already prepared their money for an event like that to take place. And because they prepared themselves like they were supposed to, when the right opportunity presented itself, they were able to get things on the cheap. You guys gotta start being on the lookout for these things. Because, like it says in this article, it can help reduce wealth inequality. I always tell you guys on my podcast, the economy is shifting to the haves and the have-nots. The middle class out the way. I got a college degree and a 9-to-5 job. Unless you're making a certain amount of money, they're going to be pushed out the way. You're either going to have it or you don't. So right now, the economy is so high on its inflation that a lot of people are pushed out of the housing market altogether. You're not in a position to be able to get access to resources like this. However, if while you're trying to go back to the drawing board and say, hey, I can't go out there and compete with these guys today, but if I get my money together right now and I fix my credit, once the recession comes, then that's when I will be able to dominate. Then that's when I'll be able to get in this game and I'll be able to buy things at a rock bottom price. And the essence of good investing is buy low, sell high. The prices of these assets will be low during the recession. Right now is when everything is high. So if you guys just made a business off of just flipping, you could be a recession hustler. What I mean is, you could be the type of person. This is what the elite does. This is what Warren Buffett does. Warren Buffett says he wished that there was more recessions, because Warren Buffett is wise enough to know, have your money ready so that when the recession comes, buy up as much as you can at a rock bottom price. And then when the recession is over and the market recovers, you can start selling off your investments, and then you can earn a return on your investment. Even if you don't sell, all of the assets that you own will increase your net worth. My real estate property in North Austin, when I bought it, was for $230,000. I showed my wife just yesterday that exact same property a few years later is almost at $600,000. And that's just for one piece of property. So guys, get in when it's low. While everybody else is selling it off, now is the time for you to make your kill. You got to be a hunter, but you don't wait for the recession to start making the right moves. You got to be making the right moves long before the recession comes, okay? And the last point that it talks about here is life expectancy can rise. It says studies of Great Depression show that life expectancy rose amongst regions with an increase in unemployment. That may seem counterintuitive, but the logic is that those who are unemployed may spend less on alcohol and drugs, leading to better health. They may make fewer car journeys and so be less likely to be involved in fatal car accidents. Guys, two things can be true at the same time. During a recession, you can have some people that cuts back on discretionary spending. So they won't spend as much money popping bottles, among other things. And during a recession, there will also be people that are looking to be entertained. They're looking for any form of medication possible because times are hard. These are the kinds of people who benefit during a recession. So if you're trying to be an entrepreneur, you got to ask yourself, what is the best type of business that is recession proof? Go back and watch a former video that I did about the best businesses to start in 2022. I outlined an entire list of the top online businesses that you can set up right now that leverages how much money is being exchanged online as a result of the economy. I'm showing you guys in that podcast how you can take advantage of a lot of these brick and mortars going under, A lot more people are buying online and they're looking in specific industries. You got to know how the shifts in economy can work in your favor. If not, you're going to be obsolete. Also, it says lower inflation can be good for people in fixed incomes like pensioners. Okay, guys. So listen, I think that gives us a pretty good pulse on everything that is going on. A recession is on the way. We don't know exactly when it's going to start, but one thing is for certain. Some people are going to get rich. Some people are going to go poor. I don't know which one is going to happen to you, but you can increase your chances of success if you position yourself to buy low and sell high by getting your money right today. Okay. So have patience and be willing to play the long game. That's the secret of the top 1%. So, y'all, once again, I'm going to put this link out for y'all to cam up. I'm going to put my brother Yasha Allah on right now. So good to see you, sir, as always. You're looking good, man. You seem to be in good spirits. How are you doing? What do you have for us on today's podcast?
Shalom, big brother. Can you hear me?
Yes, sir. Loud and clear. You're sounding good, my brother. Sounding strong.
Glad to see you. Glad to see you. So, but yes, you're correct on everything you said. And we said before in a lot of in your podcast that people are not. I see every day. They're not worrying. They're not thinking about overspending. They just spend.
Right. Mm-hmm.
I'm like, dude, you know the prices on gas and fuel.
Yes,
I feel it. The rest don't feel it. All truckers who have their own truck feel it. You know what I mean? But everybody else don't feel it and they don't see what's coming. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, hey, you better stock up. That's all I can tell you. And in trucking, go ahead.
No. All I was saying was I was happy that you was talking about that stocking up, because that's what I was trying to tell people a little bit earlier in the podcast, that you stocking up, that's going to be a form of your wealth. And as the value of the dollar continues to go down along with supply shortages, other goods and resources are going to go up. This is the reason why a lot of people engage in bartering.
Right. And that's a T-Bubs was a show on TV one time about bartering. That's going to make it. Money ain't going to be worth, the dollar bill ain't worth nothing when it does happen.
Nope.
Salt's going to be money. That's for seasoning food. Pepper, seasoning food. You know what I'm saying? All kind of lemon pepper, barbecue sauce. That's going to be money. And people don't know that, because you guys understand people's habits, what they like, what they miss, what they desire for, what they crave for. Right. That's going to be the money. Anything else is not. Wipes, toilet paper. That's going to be your money. Right. But people are not, you know, I guess to me, I just been doing it for so long, it doesn't bother me. You know what I mean? So like trash bags is going to be your commodity. I'm telling you right now. Because you can do a lot with trash bags, a whole lot with trash bags. You can store food underground. You can store your things out the rain, use it for the bathroom, etc. Right. That's trash. And a lot of people understand what trash bags are for. It's plastic. But that's going to be your money.
So I got a question for you, sir. Queen 81 Wilson a little bit earlier asked, what's your thoughts about stocking up on doomsday food? Also, as a freight broker, do you think that category will take a hit? That was the one that I was really leaving to your expertise. I didn't want to get up here and fake the funk. What do you think about their second question? As a freight broker, do you think that category will take a hit?
It would not for her per se if she's the broker. On the receiving end, I would take a hit. And she might take a hit because of nothing being moved. That's about it. Or random being moved. But eventually, it'll hide it before, like you said, in 2000. I remember that happened. I do remember that happened. We had to go home. I'm like, I can't work for that price. You know what I mean? But it'll take a hit for a while, then it'll skyrocket high back again. That's how trucking works. Because of supplies. Supply, they holding off. They don't want to change it. and they realize people not doing anything, like, hey, I'm not gonna do anything either. You know what I mean?
Right.
And then it'll rise again, and it'll be better for her. It'll be a whole lot better, even for me. I got to suffer, but once I do hit again, oh, I'm gonna do a lot better. You know, I'm gonna do a whole lot better. Why it's gravy? You see what I'm saying?
Right.
You know, then it'll level out. You know what I mean? But the
So
go ahead.
no, I was just going to ask you. So when you talk about the freight broker, right, possibly taking a hit, can you give us some details on what that would look like a step by step? Like say for example, say that a recession comes. During this recession, maybe there's still supply chain shortages, labor shortages, people are losing jobs. How would a freight broker be impacted in a dynamic like that?
Okay, from my understanding, before, freight brokers get paid if the freight is moved. It's like a real estate agent. If they don't move anything, they don't get no pay. That's just the way it is. They get commission on what they move. So if they moving 10 loads a day, they get a percentage out that load. I don't know what position is the company, or she got her own authority to move freight or not, but they get commission. Even your own, you get percentage out that freight that you move. So if you're moving 20 a day, you see what I'm saying, and your 20 a day, 5 days a week, 6 days a week, you know what I'm saying, and your cost of living is high because people go buy the $800,000 home, they go buy the Maserati, they buy your living is high now because you're living good. So when it hit and the freight's not moving, then you don't get no money. You see what I'm saying? You gotta make sure you store what you make just in case.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I found that piece to be very informative. Thank you for sharing that, because there's a lot of people that's out there, sir, that are wondering, what kind of career paths should I be taking in 2022? Like during these times where you hear about inflation, well, what are the best businesses to be in during times of inflation? There's been a lot of talk about trucking. What do you think about the trucking industry overall? Kind of walk me through that. You said something about how, hey, the economy may take a hit, but then when the market recovers, you're going to be on the gravy train. Walk us through what that looks like in terms of how you could take a hit and how you could find yourself on an upswing.
Okay, like now I'm spending extra on fuel. I could say my fuel expenses is sky high. I was spending maybe for a whole week, maybe $1,600 for a whole week.
Okay.
But now I'm spending about $3,000. You see what I'm saying? You know what I mean? So I'm money out my pocket for the same price. You see what I'm saying? But I can deal with it because I don't have a lot of expenses. I tell people, no, I don't need this. I stay in my truck for a reason. I seen it happen in 2008, and people lost their homes, like you said. You know what I mean? Because they're living off of 80% of the income, because they make, I make $200,000 a year. You know what I'm saying? But your expenses are sky high. You got a $400,000 home. You got a brand new Mercedes. You know what I'm saying? You're going to private school.
Yeah.
And then when they hit in 2008, it was so bad that people was turning their trucks in, owner-operators who had their own trucks, and banks said, no, we don't want them. We got too much. Banks said, we don't want them. We can't with it. We got too many just repos or turn in. So I never want to be in that position. Get all this stuff, buy a new house, buy a new car. It's only me. My kids are grown. You know what I mean? And it hits. No, I got one more year left to pay everything off. I'm good. You know what I'm saying? Because that's how you get over on foreclosures in that position. You know what I'm saying? People selling their cars, selling this. People fortunate like you or whoever. Hey, that's the way it is. You know what I'm saying? So, but you got to be careful, because trucking, it's going to be there. Because things got to be moved. It might be slow, but it got to be moved. Like I worked maybe last time like 2.5 days a week. You know what I'm saying? But I can survive. Some people can't survive. They got to work every single day. I'm like, no, I don't want to live like that, man. I'm sorry.
Absolutely.
I choose to work when I work. If I work every day, then fine. Besides that, I'm good with 2-3 days. I'm good. You know what I'm saying?
That's it. And I think that there's so many people that are looking for that kind of lifestyle, but they don't know how.
Right.
You know, Queen 81 Wilson said, thanks. She was really happy to get, you know, your commentary on that. Thank you again, sir. Yes, I own my own authority. I've done a career change from education to logistics.
Right. That's what I figured that. So she'll tell you if she don't move anything, no freight, she don't get not a dime, not a penny.
Nope.
You know what I'm saying? So she's moving, wherever she's moving now, Queen, it will reduce later. But if you got certain drivers or recruit drivers on with their own authority, keep those good guys, not the bad guys, not the crybabies and whiners. You know what I'm saying? I'm a military man. I can't deal with whiners. I just can't. You know what I'm saying? Because a lot come with trucking. And I got time, me personally, I got time to baby you. I don't. You know what I mean? But keep the good ones and pay them decently. You know what I'm saying? Because she determines what she want to pay them. She determines that with her own authority as a broker. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But it's a hard game.
So if I had to ask you, just for everybody that's tuning in right now, you know, there's a lot going on. There's a great resignation. Millions of people are stepping out of their 9-to-5 job. What do you think about the trucking industry overall? What do you think about that industry in terms of being promising over the next few years?
Trucking will be there. If you do it right, it's going to be there. It's going to bring you some kind of income where you can survive for your family. If you do it right, that's anybody. I'll tell anybody, you can get 3 trucks and be happy, whether it's straight trucks, big trucks, and be happy. You just have to learn the game. The game is maintenance. The game is good drivers. They'll take your crap up. But don't worry, you got good insurance. Who cares? They burn it down, whatever, good insurance. You know what I'm saying? But if you do that, or straight trucks is money too. Straight trucks is money. You have vans is money. Expediting is money. You know what I mean? But it's going to remain there if you do it right. Don't get overhead of I'll go buy this now because I made $20,000 this week. I'm going to buy me. You see what I'm saying? And people, I seen it like, dude, you don't make, it's not consistent.
Right.
I'd rather take home all my expenses $2,600 every week versus me taking home $20,000 or $18,000 just one week. That doesn't cut it for me because that's not consistent.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And you're killing yourself because you're hustling. You got the hustle.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But what?
No. You made a good point right there, because one of the things that you reminded me of earlier, especially when we talk about inflations and recessions, is the importance of financial minimalism. You know, that's something that I want to delve into in future shows. But financial minimalism is just the concept that you don't spend everything that you make, right?
Right.
People that operate in financial minimalism, these are people that they may only live off of 10 to 20% of all of their income, not because they're living like they're homeless, but because they've mastered the art of maximizing their income. And as a result, they've positioned themselves where even though they make a lot of money, they're not going to spend a lot of money relative to their earnings, because you still only need but so much to be able to live comfortable. You know, I got a spot, I got a car, I got food, I got the things that I need to really make it and be happy. But I think one of the things that really damages us is we often spend all that we have, and we spend beyond our means. So y'all be on the lookout for more talk about financial minimalism in the future. But my brother Yasha Allah, you was about to make another statement. Let us know what that was, and let us know any last comments that you have before we bring a close to the show?
Like you said before about credit, get your credit right. You got to do that.
Mm-hmm.
Once it's over, it's done. You're gonna be stuck with your middle score, and you got to go through their laws on how to get your credit high, whatever. Not gonna be fixing anything. And like you
Right.
said, to any business you have, get a business card in the business name, because that does not affect your personal credit, and you will have. It doesn't use utilization on business credit. It doesn't do that at all. And you have up to 6 months to make a payment before it can be late.
Right.
But people won't do it. They just won't do it, man. I do it all the time, especially our people. It's like, it's too much money. I got to pay you. Yes, you got to pay me. That's the price. You know what I'm saying? But the other people, I had no problem, man. You know, I hate to say it, but it's facts. You know what I mean? Because they want theirs done because they know what it's going to bring.
Right.
But get your business credit right. That's the must. Not last you a long period of time. You get hurt, you pay your house or car, whatever, because it doesn't affect utilization. You have the 6 months to make a payment, so it won't be late.
Yeah.
Get
Great
right.
point. Great point. You know, I always tell them, sir, Yasha, I always tell them, stay ready so you don't have to get ready. You know, there were so many times that we've had conversations about, if you're looking to buying a home, don't wait until the underwriting process to start trying to improve your credit. Start getting your credit right 18 months in advance, 2 years in advance. Like, if you know right now, you might not even know when you want to be a real estate investor. You don't know when it's going to happen. If you have any thought in your mind that it's going to happen at some point in your life, prepare today for tomorrow. Don't wait until tomorrow to do the things that you could have did today. And a lot of times we spend so much of our thoughts focused on living for the moment and instant gratification that we never really think, okay, you know what? Even if the recession ain't coming yet, I'm going to live my life as though it's here. So that way, when it happens, I'll really be on top. And then, you know what? After the recession is over, I'm really going to win when the market recovers. This is how we played the game. Okay. So thank you so much, my brother Yasha Allah. It's always a pleasure. Thank you so much as well for the super chat, sir. Appreciate your support. Appreciate your contributions. Glad to know that you're doing well, man. And Lord's will, we speak soon.
Lord's will.
All right now. So listen, y'all, hopefully y'all enjoyed this podcast. Did y'all get a lot of value today? If you did, leave me a comment and let me know. Guys, I try really hard to be able to give y'all jam-packed content. So if you get a lot of value and this is information that can help to improve your life, please give a donation. That's what keeps this channel going. All you got to do is tap the dollar icon directly below. Listen, guys, y'all ain't got to give buku money. You don't have to be rich, but something to help keep the show on air. You may not know this, but the more that you donate, it actually shows YouTube that this is a show that people want to see on. So if there's no super chats, there's not a lot of engagement. But if you guys want to see these shows continue on, please make sure that you do your part. Queen 81 Wilson says, ready for your show about minimum spending. Thank you for your excellent show today. Thank you so much for tuning in. And for those of you that are joining for the very first time, please be sure to subscribe and turn on the notification bell so that you can receive new alerts whenever I do another podcast. Now, guys, one thing that you may not know, I am a licensed insurance agent. And one of the most important ways to create generational wealth for you and your family is to have life insurance to protect you and your family. You know, when we talk about recessions, we're talking about you managing risk. One of the biggest risks that you have to manage is the loss of your life. If you were gone today, would your family have anything? If you want to make sure that your family is protected and wealthy for years to come, you need to get life insurance. So if you guys want to look into that, please make sure that you send me an email so that way I can sit down with you and we can get that situated. Also, I am looking to expand my business in this area. I want to help more people get insurance. Okay. Insurance is definitely one big thing that we are lacking within the culture. So, if you are big on generational wealth and you want to teach others how to do so, feel free to send me an email. I just put it in the comments section below. Feel free to reach out to me so that way you can sign up and get on board and work with me in the business to preach generational wealth throughout the world. Listen, guys, I'm out of here, man. If you guys love this content, you need to check out some of my premium programs. I have one program right now called Your Breakthrough Year. That is a 12-month elite coaching program showing you how to master your time, money, and energy. I highly recommend that you guys check that out. And to make it as easy of a decision as possible, I'm going to give you a 14-day free trial to check it out. Okay, so I'm putting that information below. Make sure that y'all sign up. Make sure that you smash that like button. Make sure that you subscribe. Most importantly, please share this broadcast. Okay, don't keep this message a secret. Be your brother's keeper. Share this message throughout the world so that way we can make this world a better place. I love y'all. I'm happy to be back on. I'm hoping to be back on tomorrow, and I will definitely see you soon, Lord willing. Until next time, keep pushing.